Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, Leslie Headland, they're all on a ravenous quest to destroy every single character that George Lucas ever made. The latest target was Yoda. Folks, we're here to show you right now what the plan is if they ever get a chance at the Acolyte Season 2. Strap in. You will not believe what they believe about benign patriarchy. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. Sometimes it is bizarre, the world that we have to enter into to explain so that you will understand the insane brains behind what's going in the drain of our entertainment. Lucasfilm leading the charge. They are the gunk below whatever is in the junk of your bathroom drain. Folks, as we get started in this video today, click the like button. I just want to show you very quickly as we get ready to dive in that, well, Marvel is not going in the direction of Star Wars. Apparently, Kevin Feige had enough. This is out of the Boardwalk Times. It says, CAA is said to have lobbied for Greg Berlanti and Noah Hawley to direct the next two Avengers films. And I believe that's Noah Hawley, actually. Kevin Feige opted for the Russo brothers instead. And you can see what these gentlemen had worked on versus the Russo brothers. This is the direction that was wanted for Marvel. Feige saying no. Do I think Feige's great and grand? No, I think he just realizes he doesn't want to go down the same path as Kathleen. Here's the article that we start with today. Folks, it's not where we will end up because we've got to get to Yoda. But oh my gosh, this by John Trent, thatparkplace.com. Bookmark it if you can. Showrunner Leslie Headland claims OSHA killed Soul in The Acolyte because he was imposing benign sexism on her. She's going to talk about the patriarchy in just a moment. Folks, just a reminder, and I'm sick and tired of talking about the Acolyte. You're sick and tired of hearing about the Acolyte, but I want you to understand what they were planning to do if only viewers had tuned in. They did not, so it's fraught with danger if they try to do a season 2, although that is not completely out of the picture. Well, just a reminder. In this image, you're seeing the character that we're supposed to like and fall in love with and think that she's heroic and all that. She is essentially murdering her adopted father. That's what's happening there, and that's a moment of jubilation for Leslie Headland and Kathleen Kennedy in Star Wars because she is doing what is right. She is taking power back to her life by choking a Jedi who had taken her under his wing. She's choking him to death while he tries to say that she loves him. It's an evil show. Leslie Headland, the showrunner of The Acolyte, explained that OSHA killed Soul because of benign sexism in the final episode of the show, because of course she did. By the way, Leslie, is benign sexism when you work for a person who mistreats and abuses others in tremendous ways while you work for them? I don't know. Maybe it is. In the final episode, Soul confirms to May and Chimere, who cares, that he killed Mother Anastasia. OSHA, by the way, Mother Anastasia was the smoke monster Raven Witch leading the lesbian witches, who was appearing to try to inhabit or possess her child, and so she was slayed with the lightsaber. That was apparently a bad thing in the world of Leslie Headland. OSHA overhears the conversation and confronts him, yada, yada, yada. He goes on to tell her that he did everything because he loved her. However, the word love is cut off, and OSHA begins to use the Force to choke him. As he's being choked, Soul then tells her it's okay. OSHA then kills him. It was a long and overwrought scene with his eyes bulging. It was pathetic to have to watch that and to believe that this is a character we're supposed to identify with, the one who is killing her adopted father. In an interview with Collider, this is where we get to Yoda. Maggie Lovett asked Headland, what's so interesting about that moment where OSHA kills Soul is how much is conveyed even while he's choking on his words. Also, and maybe this was my impression of it, but my first thought was he doesn't even give her the agency to make this choice because it's accepting his fate. It just adds so much more insult to injury. You can't even let her get a satisfactory kill because you're like, it's okay. It's so good. These people are evil. The adopted father in this story is attempting to say, I love you, as she chokes him to death. So all of these people, Maggie Lovett, Leslie Headland, I'm sorry, you all have some serious issues. Serious issues. Headland responded, we also knew that it was always going to be the betrayal of the father. And I knew we had to juxtapose Luke's forgiveness and Vader's redemption. In other words, they had to invert it. Okay? So everybody understand that. This is going to get to Yoda again, I promise. They had to invert the forgiveness that Luke gives to Vader, and that's the redemption. They had to invert that. That is the world that Leslie Headland lives in. Do not forgive. Annihilate. We're like, this is a story about the Sith, so that's not going to happen. And remember that Leslie Headland has said that she identifies with the Sith. She would be a Sith. Her avatar is the Sith. She then affirmed Lovett's comment. You're absolutely right. There's this thing that's called benign sexism, and part of it is this paternal protectionism. There we are, folks. There we go again. It's the patriarchy. It's the paternal spirit. It's evil to them. It seems like this good thing, but like you said, there's this, I have to protect you from everything. I have to make sure you're okay. I have to tell you what track to get on. And once you're on that track, I need to support you. Ultimately, what happens is, again, this is a father-daughter relationship. So she's saying this character that she created to be the protagonist of the story kills her father. As women evolve in their lives and develop their own personalities, separate from their fathers, at some point they have to reject that protectionism. And apparently you do that by killing someone. Now, why does this have anything to do with Yoda? Well, folks, it has something to do with Yoda because Yoda is a paternal, patriarchal figure within Star Wars. Yoda is a fatherly figure to Obi-Wan. He is a fatherly figure to Anakin. He is a fatherly figure to Luke. Yoda is an integral part of the idea of protecting those who need you. And by the way, that same paternal protectionism that Leslie Headland hates is the same thing that drove movies like Avatar, The Way of Water, and, by the way, Top Gun Maverick to huge success because people believe in the idea that good men protect those who need protecting from the evildoers of the world. Leslie Headland, the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, must not believe that. All right, so let's get to Yoda then. Here is how all of this was going to go down, except that the viewership is down so much they may actually struggle to do this. This is out of ScreenRant. The Acolyte Season 2 will feature more of Yoda, hence showrunner. Now, the first thing I want to do, folks, is I want to show you the, perhaps dishonesty, perhaps not, the blurring of reality. And to do that, I want to take you to the bottom of the article first, if you would be so kind to humor me. You saw the headline, what will happen in Season 2? But the last paragraph, buried at the bottom, says, Headland has no idea whether the Acolyte will be greenlit for a second season at this stage. You want to go look at the headline again from ScreenRant? Acolyte Season 2 will feature more of Yoda, hence showrunner. Bottom paragraph. Headland has no idea whether the Acolyte will be greenlit. So you read this entire article just to find out this is all a bunch of bunk. But what it does tell us is where she would have taken it had there been any viewership for the show. The Acolyte showrunner Leslie Headland has teased a bigger role for Yoda should Season 2 happen. For months, there have been rumors Grandmaster Yoda would cameo in The Acolyte. Ultimately, he appeared at the very end, with Rebecca Henderson's Vernestra, a.k.a. Leslie Headland's wife, a.k.a. Jedi Master Nepotism, meeting with him, presumably to debrief him on the cover-up she was carrying out. This has naturally led to intense speculation. Yoda will play a bigger role should Lucasfilm renew the show for Acolyte Season 2. The only problem for ScreenRant and everybody else is there is no speculation because nobody cares about this show. This is a horse which has been beaten past the point of recognition after it had already went kaputs. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly, the Acolyte showrunner has confirmed the finale's cameos were purposeful. If I couldn't do Plagueis or Yoda, I think that would have been a real heartbreak, Headland says. I think it sets up future storylines that could be really compelling. The clear implication is that Yoda wasn't just a fan-pleasing Easter egg, but rather was intentional setup for future plots. And it goes on to speculate then, because the majority of this article is absolute fluff. But for the tiny nugget of truth that exists in here, it is that Leslie Headland, the same person who believes that it's okay, good in fact, to choke to death a character for benign sexism, for patriarchal protectionism. The same woman who believes that's okay is the same woman who wants to bring Yoda into Star Wars, her version of it. Of course, not the version that George Lucas envisioned. This is so far away from anything anyone had ever imagined back when this was under the control of sane people. Kathleen Kennedy, of course, ultimately in charge of this. And I'd also like to say one more thing, folks, before we head out today. Not only do I think that the plan is to destroy Yoda if they get a chance for a Season 2, because, again, he is part of that paternal concept. He is part of the paternal spirit. He is part of the concept of the patriarchy in their minds. They will destroy him. Plagueis will be the one who was done dirty, the one who was in the right all along. Get ready, get set. That's where they're going to go. But the one other thing I will say, I'm hearing that Skeleton Crew is also going to be a disaster. You heard it here, folks. Skeleton Crew, according to those who have been tracking it, now saying that it could be an absolute disaster. The only thing that will prevent it, that will mitigate that kind of damage to Lucasfilm, so few people will watch it now after the Acolyte that it's hard for it to damage. You can't damage this franchise anymore. It's, what do you do when you've buried something to the center of the earth? You can't take it any deeper. You're already at the core. And that is the poor situation in which Kathleen Kennedy, Leslie Headland, and the rest of the lowly Lucasfilm find themselves in today. All right, folks, it's time for us to go our way, but we appreciate you being here, and we cannot wait to spend time with you for Deadpool and Wolverine, the live review, taking place at 9 p.m. Eastern on July 25th. Today, if you're watching this video at the time of release. Just like those Acolyte after parties, we're going to have a good time, but this time we might actually have had a good piece of product to review. Wouldn't that be wonderful? No more 0.4s out of 10. Maybe an actual good grade will be coming to Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. You will get the true review from someone you trust tonight at 9 p.m., and we would love to have you there with us. Folks, we're hoping that you have a great day. On your way out the door, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithm. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. And ladies and gentlemen, as we go, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
What? What?
I put out a tweet of a fat minority with a booger in her nose, and I said, "This is an empowered woman." And Katako retweeted it.
You don't have your own X account, do you?
Oh, well, I actually created it a while ago. The greatest troll I've pulled off in a long time. Do you know how many things I've secretly tanked?
Oh, gosh, I hope not. That would make me legally culpable. But, what are you talking about?
Sweet Baby Ink.
Huh?
Yep. I'm the...
Shut up.
I'm the CEO. Yeah, no, seriously, look, this is my profile picture. Everyone's just AI. It's great. I'm so excited to gaslight everyone and see what they're gonna like next because they think it's socially obligated.
Wait, so you're... No way, you're
Yep.
the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc.?
Maybe. But first, you should see the jewelry company I created.
We're gonna get sued. Oh.
It's yeah, it's gonna be good.